today I'm back to film my Pan That palette update. So I'm going to start with my Naked palette and then I'll talk about the other two palettes. But I'm not 100% where I wanted to be with my Naked palette this month. I'm okay with my progress and I'm still pretty happy with it. I just didn't finish another shadow like I was hoping. So this is what my Naked palette looks like. As you can see, I still just have Virgin and Naked, which I finished from previous months. But kind of just going down the row. Sin, I think, is the one I told you guys I wanted to finish in my last update. And I think probably like middle of the month I kind of changed my mind a little bit and decided to keep Sin around as kind of as long as I can. Because I've been layering it with some of the other shadows. So it's been nice because I'm using two shadows at once. So I'm finishing them both and kind of working through them both. So I'm trying to keep Sin around as long as I can. So that one is probably going to be in here for a little while, but there just isn't a whole lot of product left. It's just kind of around these three edges, the top, the side, and then the bottom here. This side here is completely empty. So, and then next would be Sidecar. So Sidecar is the one that I kind of shifted my focus to once I decided to keep Sin around. And I just have that little bit up there at the top. I've mostly been wearing this like for the last 2 weeks. I have switched up here and there just to use some other things, but for the most part, if I'm using my Naked palette, I've been wearing Sidecar. So that I think will probably definitely be finished by next update. That is, you know, one of my goals is to have that finished. So Sidecar is almost done. Buck, I don't feel like it looks too much different, but it actually has had some pan growing. Because it's the only matte shadow in this palette, so what I would do is put Sidecar on my lid, Buck in my crease, and then I would take Hustle and put that in my outer V. So Buck does actually have a little bit more pan showing, but the biggest thing with Buck is I've been actually working from the top down. So I've been trying to use up this top pan part first and then kind of work my way down through the shadow. Instead of something like Sin where I hit pan in the middle and I worked my way out, kind of a lot like Dark Horse and now Smog. I hit pan in the middle and I'm kind of working my way out. So I try just with Buck to like finish up the top half and then I'll work my way to the lower half. And it's kind of the opposite with Half Baked. I'm trying to finish this bottom part and work my way up. This one corner over here is almost completely gone. So, but Half Baked actually does have some pretty good progress this month because I've been layering this with Sin. But the reason I've been doing that is because I love Half Baked for the summertime. It's a beautiful gold color, but I just felt like it was like a little too intense for me like earlier this month when I tried to wear it. So I would take Half Baked, put it all over my lid, and then literally just layer Sin on top of it, and it would kind of mute it down. The shade reminded me a lot of Rose or Rosé from the Lorac Pro 2 palette. It was really, really pretty. It's gold, but it's like a little bit like rose gold almost. It's just really, really pretty. I love it. So those two have actually been helping me kind of finish both of them. I've been finishing Sin and kind of working on finishing Half Baked. So that's one of the reasons I decided to keep Sin around a little longer. Next is Smog, and this is the newest one I've hit pan on. It's just a little sliver kind of there in the middle. But anytime I wear Half Baked, I wear Smog. And usually I would apply Smog on like the outer half of my lid, or I might even use it as a crease color. I might kind of blend it with Buck and use it as a crease color, but it does have a little bit of pan showing. I think Smog is going to be a really hard shadow for me to finish if I don't finish it at the same time that I finished Half Baked. So I'm a little nervous about that. Smog just isn't my favorite color kind of on its own. So I'm a little worried about it. I tried to wear it as a lid color once and I absolutely hated it. So if I don't finish it at the same time I finish Half Baked, it's going to be pretty difficult, I think. Next is Dark Horse. Dark Horse, I do have a little bit more pan showing. I don't feel like it necessarily shows because it grows just so slightly. But I have been layering this over eyeliners. I've been using it in my outer V and stuff. So it does have some use. It just doesn't, you know, seem like a lot. Next is Toasted. I didn't really use this one this month. They're just, I don't know. It's kind of similar to Sidecar in that it's like kind of a mid-tone color. It's not super light, but it's not super dark. And Toasted is a little bit more pink than Sidecar, and Sidecar is a little bit more taupe, and it has glitter. But I've just been focused on Sidecar, so I didn't really use Toasted. Hustle, this is going to be kind of hard to show, but you can kind of see it there. It's getting kind of a big dip right down the middle. And a lot of that is because I have been using it in my outer V and crease. So the brush that I'm using is kind of thin, and it's going to end up a lot like Dark Horse, where it's going to hit pan in the middle, and I'm going to be kind of working from the middle outwards. But there is, you know, a really big dip going on there, and I'm kind of hoping that I can hit pan on this by next month. I think that's a pretty reasonable expectation just because it is getting pretty low. I would say it's at least halfway towards hitting pan, so there's that. Creep I did not use besides setting eyeliner with, so there is no like significant progress with this. I just really need to find another way to use Creep because just using it for liner is great, but it's not getting me anywhere. So I don't know. I've been trying to decide if I want to just kind of hold off and just use it to set liner into like fall and winter when I probably do like some darker, smokier looks. But I'm just gonna, this next month, try my best to use it at least once or twice for something other than setting liner with. But Creep doesn't really have a ton of progress right now. And then lastly is Gunmetal. Gunmetal I did use once this month, and Gunmetal is actually another shade that I like to layer with thin, because Gunmetal is like a really blue-gray, and blue-grays are probably my least favorite. I like more purple grays or even more kind of taupey grays, silver grays, but I don't like blue grays. They're just not my favorite. Because I think sometimes with my blue eyes, they just end up looking blue. And I don't know, I'm not a huge blue eyeshadow fan either, so there's that. But I did use it once, and I find that if I layer Sin over it, Sin does kind of soften it up a little bit, and it doesn't look so dark, which makes it a little bit more wearable and easier for me to use. I'm also thinking about trying to layer Gunmetal with like a silver shadow and see if I like it a little bit better, but there isn't really anything significant progress-wise. Like, it still is a pretty full shadow, even though I did use it once. The other issue I'm having with Gunmetal is, and you can kind of maybe see it, is if you ever use an eyeshadow wet and it gets like that hard like layer on it, Gunmetal has that going on. So anytime I use it, I feel like I really have to kind of push my brush down in it to like kind of scrape off the top layer and get to the eyeshadow underneath. So I am a little surprised that this actually doesn't have, you know, some sort of dip going on, because anytime I've used it, I've had to kind of push my brush really hard. But you can kind of see just like with the bumpy texture and stuff that that's kind of what's going on with it. I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, still showing eyeshadow. It's just not as pigmented as it could be. So that is where my Naked palette is at. I was really hoping to finish a shadow or two with this month, and I just didn't quite get there, but I think next month I will definitely get there. I know for sure I'm probably going to finish Sidecar, and I'm thinking with the way things are going with Half Baked and Gunmetal and kind of layering Sin with it, Sin will probably be finished next month too. I'm not going to try to finish Sin because I want to keep it around so that I can work on Half Baked and Gunmetal, but I mean, if I finish it, I finish it, and I'll just have to find something else for my collection to like layer with those two. But that is where my Naked palette's at. I'm pretty happy with it. I just wish I could have finished Sidecar before my update, and I think that if my Pan That Palette update was, you know, filmed a week from now, I would probably have finished Sidecar. So that's where my Naked palette's at. Like I said, I'm really hoping next month to finish 2 shadows, hoping to hit pan on Hustle. But other than that, it's kind of just where I'm at with this one. Next is my MAC Fabulousness Warm Eyes. This just didn't get a ton of use this month. There is a little bit more pan showing on Retrospec. Kind of that gold shade there, but not a lot. I've just been really focused on either wearing Half Baked or Sidecar. So Retrospec just kind of hasn't, you know, I just haven't used it much. But you can kind of see here with Honesty, yes, Honesty, it has that weird little dip in it right here. And that's because I was pairing it with a bronzy shade from the Anastasia Catwalk palette, and I was using a pencil brush, so kind of the same thing as Gunmetal. It's got like a hard layer to it, and it's not very pigmented, so I have to like really dig my brush in there to kind of get some shadow and get some pigmentation. So it does have a little bit of a dip going on. I'm hoping to hit pan on this kind of soon. Honesty, I need to finish this summer because I just don't think I'm going to wear it any other time. So I really need to hit pan and finish this shadow, I feel like, during the summer months. But for Cognac and Sketch, nothing. Cognac I still just absolutely hate. It's just such a weird gold color in my opinion. It's like, I don't know. I just don't love it. I feel like on camera it looks really pretty, but I don't know, just something about it I'm not liking. So I gotta find a way to use that. I'm thinking that when fall comes around though, I will be able to like wear this kind of on my lower lash line, like towards the tear duct area. Just kind of as a nice pop, but other than that, I really don't know how I'm gonna finish this because as a lid shadow, I'm just not crazy about it. Next is Sketch. Sketch is like a pretty dark red color. So this is kind of another one I think I'll use more during the fall. I am going to try a Lookout with it, I think, in a couple weeks just to see if I like it. And if I like it, then I'll start using Sketch a little bit more. But this just needs to make a lot better progress next month. I really want to finish Retrospec out of this next month because I think that Sidecar is not going to take me very long. And if I finish Sin as well, Retrospec will be like my next shadow I think I'm going to try to finish. Because I'm just getting really sick of this little palette, so I really want to try to hurry up and finish the shadows out of here, but at the same time, some of them I want to kind of wait till fall. So that's where that's at. Not a lot of progress, but I'm hoping for a lot better next month. And then lastly is my Anastasia Catwalk palette. This is going to be my Pan That palette for 2016. I wanted to talk about it in here just because I've been using this a ton this last month. And I kind of wanted to show it. It doesn't really look a whole lot different, but I think almost every shadow in here I have used besides maybe these three right here. The gold shade, this kind of purpley taupe color, and then the dark red, which is a lot like Sin, but it doesn't have any shimmer in it. It's just like a matte dark red. Otherwise, everything else I think I've used. There's kind of a nice champagne-y gold color. There's a pretty purple. This is like a pretty pink that's got like a gold shift. I've used the black a handful of times. And then this shade down here is a really light pink color. And I've actually been using it as like a crease color, and it's really pretty. It's actually got a little bit of a dip going on, so I'm kind of excited because this might actually hit pan before the end of the year, which would help me out for next year. And then there's like a dark chocolatey kind of glittery brown shade, and then this is the bronzy shade that I was mixing with the Honesty color from the MAC Warm Eyes. So this is where this palette is. This I don't have to finish before the end of the year because, like I said, it's going to be my Pan That palette for next year, I think. But as much progress as I can make with this, the better, because if I can make a lot of progress with this, then I can throw in like maybe 2 palettes next year and just finish off this one and then, you know, finish another one. So I'm trying to make kind of some decent progress with this, and so far right now it's going pretty well. I'm not pushing myself a ton because I do have, you know, the Naked palette and the MAC palette, but I'm actually really happy with my progress with the Anastasia one because they are all kind of starting to, you know, get a little bit more used, and I'm coming up with more looks and ways to wear them. So plus mixing these two has actually been another really nice thing. I found a couple shadows from both that I like to pair with different looks and stuff, so again, kind of helping me work through a bunch of different shadows at the same time. So that is it for my update. I'm really excited for next month. I was kind of excited for this month until I realized I didn't finish anything. Then I was kind of like, oh, well, that's a little bit of a bummer. But it's okay because next month, hopefully, I will finish a lot more. So, and I'm pretty determined. I think I can definitely do that. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.